in a transportation matrix. So using the transportation matrix, we like to solve the problem. Using the transportation matrix, we like to solve the problem. Okay. So see here, this is a small example, that is sources. So sources are like this. Say something like Los Angeles, Detroit, New Orleans. Okay. So then another is a dummy source. This, because dummy, I'll tell you why it was, because it is unbalanced. We have made balanced. Then we have destination like Denver, Miami. These are the two. Say how it is balanced. You see here, we are adding 1000 plus 1300 plus 1200 plus 200. So that is 2300 plus 1200. That is 3500 plus 200, 3700. And here demand, that is 2300 plus 1400. That is also 3700. So it is a balanced transportation problem. Okay, there is a balanced transportation problem. So we will not talk how to solve this problem. I like to explain some using some numerical example. Numerical in the sense, so maybe I will consider a transportation matrix of size 2 by 2 or 2 by 3, and we'll discuss about that. Okay, so I'm coming to these examples here. This is a small transportation problem. There are two sources, S1, S2. Sources means our factories, and two destinations, the marketplace, D1, D2. So, and what is the availability at source 1? That is A1 unit. What is the availability at source 2? That is A2 units. And what is the demand at D1 destination? That is B1 units. Demand at D2, second destination, is B2 units. Now, if we are assuming this is a balanced transportation problem, then we have A1 plus A2 equal to B1 plus B2. So we have here, that is C11, the transportation cost. If you are transporting 1 unit of good from source 1 to destination 1, the transportation cost equal to X11, C11. Similarly, if you are transporting 1 unit of good from source 1 to destination 2, source 1 to destination 2, the transportation cost is C12. Similarly, if you are transporting, say, 1 unit of good from source 2 to destination 1, the transportation cost is C21. And similarly, if you are transporting, say, 1 unit of good from source 2 to destination 2, transportation cost is CT2. 22. Now, we do not know what is the amount we are transporting. So we have to find out that based on the constraints. So the total transportation cost equal to X11 into C11 plus X12 into C12 plus X21 into C21 plus X22 into C22. Okay, this total transportation cost to be minimized. Okay, and if you are minimizing, what is the restriction? Our restriction is like this: minimize Z equal to C11 into X11 plus C12 into X12 plus C21 into X21 plus CT2 into X22. This you like to minimize. And what is the condition here? X11 plus X12. See, like this. X11 plus X12 equal to A1. X21 plus X22 equal to A2. Similarly, X11 plus X21 equal to B1. X12 plus X22 equal to B2. Okay, that is mentioned here. So X11 plus X12 equal to A1. That is the first constraint, source constraint. Then X21 plus X22 equal to A2. Then we have X11 plus X21 equal to B1. So then X12 plus X22 equal to B2. It is given that the problem is balanced. Balanced means A1 plus A2 equal to B1 plus B2. So how many constants are there? There are 4 constants. How many variables are there? How many variables are there? There are also 4 variables. X11, X12, X21, X22. So there are 4 variables. If we have mentioned it is a balanced transportation problem, then say what will happen? Out of 4, so out of 4, 3 will be linearly independent. 1 we have to drop. Okay, 1 you have to drop. So since it is given A1 plus A2 equal to B1 plus B2, so out of 4, so 3 will be linearly independent. So you will only consider 3, not 4. Okay, so here the decision variables X11, X12, X21, X22, they are non-negative. Okay, this. So here I have already mentioned for the transportation problem, we frequently use the dual. Why we use the dual? Because we have a trial solution. So using the duality theory, we'll check whether the trial solution is optimal or not. If it is optimal, we'll stop. If it is not optimal, we'll try to improve the solution. So when we improve the solution, we have to use the simplex method rule. Simplex method rule indirectly. So that we'll discuss here. Are you able to hear? Hello? Hello? Are you able to hear? Any problem in listening? Hello?
Yes, sir, we can hear.
Okay. So at least say yes, no, so that I will be seeing students are there. Otherwise, I am shouting, nobody is responding. Okay. Right. So this model, as I told, we are going to find the dual. So see minutely this problem. So how many constants are there? There are 4 constants. So with respect to the 4 constants, so as you know, since there are 4 constants, we will have 4 dual variables. Okay. So there are 4 primal variables. So, and we have, since 4 primal variables, we have also 4 dual constants. Okay. So there are 4 constants and 4 primal variables. So we'll have 4 dual variables and 4 dual constants. Okay. So that you have learned. So, and this is actually a problem of minimization type. So the dual problem will be maximization type. So if I'm directly writing, it is difficult to understand. So I will explain how we have got it. Okay. So the dual will be like this. Dual is maximization type. Maximize Z equal to, say, A1 into U1. U1 is a dual variables. A2 into U2. U2 is another dual variables, plus B1 into B1. B1 and B2 are of course dual variables, plus B2 into B2. So there are 4 dual variables. Dual variables are U1, U2, B1, B2. And what is the restriction? What is the constants? The constants are like this. U1 plus B1 is less than equal to C11. U1 plus B2 less than equal to C12. Then we have next one, U2 plus B1 less than equal to C21. Then we have U2 plus B2 less than equal to C22. Now, so here many things we must learn. So in this problem, these constants are all equally type. First constant is equally type. Second constant is equally type. Third constant is equally type. Fourth constant is equally type. If the constants are equal type in the primal problem, the dual problem, What about the variables? Variables are equally types. Variables are free variables. Free means they can be positive, they can be negative, they can be zero. Okay, but here primal variables are non-negative, but the dual variables, we are naming dual variables are u1, u2, v1, v2, all are free variables. Okay, this. So that to be mentioned. So if you mention, we have like this. So u1, u2, v1, v2 are free variables. Free variables means they can be positive, they can be negative, and they can be zero also. There is no restriction on the variables. So they can be positive, they can be negative, they can be zero. But however, x11, x12, x21, x22, these four variables are non-negative. Okay, this. So what is next here? Next. Now we have some complementary pairs. What is this pair? So what is the pair we have? So you see, we are writing u1 plus v1 less than equal to c11. u1 plus v2 less than equal to c12. u2 plus v1 less than equal to c21. u2 plus v2 less than equal to c12. With respect to first constraint, the primal variable is x11. With respect to second constraint, the primal variable is x12. With respect to third constraint, the primal variable is x21. With respect to the fourth constraint, the primal variable is x22. So here we write in this manner, u1 plus b1 minus c11 into x11 equal to 0. Same rule we are applying here. u1 plus b1 minus c11 into x11 equal to 0. So what indicates either x11 equal to 0 or u1 plus b1 minus c11 equal to 0. Either this equal to 0 or x11 equal to 0. Similarly, u1 plus v2 minus c12 into x12 equal to 0. This indicates either x12 equal to 0 or u1 plus v2 minus c12 equal to 0. Similarly, for third one, u2 plus v1 minus c21 equal to 0 or x21 equal to 0. Okay, because the product equal to 0. Similarly, for the last pair, we have u2 plus v2 minus c22 into x22 equal to 0. So this indicates u2 plus v2 minus c22 equal to 0 or x22 equal to 0. So this we have got. So we have to use this duality theory. Okay. So now, if you are writing a general rule, ui plus bj minus cij into xij equal to 0, this indicates either ui plus bj equal to cij or xij equal to 0 for all I and j. This we should write in this fashion. Okay. So now I am considering a small problem. Small problem. So if we can learn something from this, then we will go for a bigger problem. So this is a small transportation problem. There are two sources, S1, S2, and what is the amount available at source 1? Amount of product available 200 unit. At source 2, amount of product available 100 units. Now what is the demand at marketplace? Let us say D1 at destination D1, demand equal to 150 units, and at destination D2, demand equal to 150 units. 150 plus 150 equal to 300. 200 plus 100 equal to 300. So it is a balanced transportation problem. Generally, we solve balanced transportation problem. Generally, we solve balanced transportation problem. Okay. Now, see, if you want to solve this problem, so it is given the cost of transportation from source 1 to destination 1 equal to 4 units. There is the transportation cost from source 1 to destination 2 equal to 1 unit. And similarly, transportation cost from source 2 destination 1 equal to 2 units. Then similarly, the transportation cost from source 2 destination 2 equal to 3 units. This is given in a tabular form. This x11 is unknown, we have to find out. x12 is another unknown, we have to find out. Then x21 is another unknown, we have to find out. x22 is another unknown. There are 4 unknown. You have to find out these 4 unknowns. Now, see this problem mathematically, how to write? So this is a balanced transportation problem. We write in this form. So minimize z equal to 4x11 plus x12 plus 2x21 plus 3x22, because we are writing in this form. 4 into x11, then 1 into x12, 2 into x21 plus 3 into x22. This is the total transportation cost. This transportation cost we have to minimize. Subject to, what is that? Subject to like this: x11 plus x12 equal to 200, x21 plus x22 equal to 100. Then we have x11 plus x21 equal to 150, x12 plus x22 also equal to 150. Okay, this. Now, this is a very interesting problem. How many equations are there? And x11, x12, x21, x22, they are all non-negative. Of course, they are supposed to be non-negative integers. So anybody can solve this system? Anybody? There are 4 equations, 4 unknowns. Can you solve it? See, this is a balanced transportation problem. Since this is a balanced transportation problem, so out of 4, if you consider any 3, there will be linearly independent. Linearly independent. Okay. So out of 4, any 3 you consider, they will be linearly independent. So we cannot take 4, we will take only 3 and solve. We will take 3 and solve. Okay. So can you find a solution to this problem? Anybody? A very simple elementary problem. Can you find solution? Anybody? See what we should do. How to find solution to this system. Okay. We are going to write the dual of this problem. Okay, we are going to write the dual of the problem, and we'll just discuss how to find the solution. So there are 4 constraints, so 4 dual variables. So with respect to row, the dual variables are u1, u2, and with respect to columns, the dual variables are v1, v2. So we write in this form. So minimize z equal to 4x11, 4x12, then 2x21 plus 3x22, subject to x11 plus x12. These 2 terms are not available. So 0 plus 0, that is equal to 200. Then the second constraints. So first 2 terms are not available. So x21 plus x22 equal to 100. Now, if you go for the third constraints, x11 plus x, after the x11 there is no term, so it is 0. Then x21 there is no term, so x11 plus x21 equal to 150. Then we have x12 plus x22 is 150, and all these variables like primal variables x11, x12, x21, x22, they are non-negative. Okay, so with respect to this, we have say the dual variables. So we'll find the duality theory. So to find the duality theory, we'll make some assumption like this: x11 equal to x1, x12 equal to x2, x21 equal to x3, x22 equal to x4. Then this is becoming simpler in the sense 4x11 4 into x1 plus x2 plus 2 into x3 plus 3 into x4. As if this is 2-index problem, we are making single index in this manner, subject to x11 plus x12 equal to 200, x3 plus x4 equal to 100. Then we have x1 plus x3 equal to 150. Then x2 plus x4 equal to 150. In this form we are writing. Then, so we state here x1, x2, x3, x4, they are non-negative. Now what about the dual? The dual will be maximize ZS. This is equal to 200 into U1 plus 100 into U2 plus 150 into V1 plus 150 into V2, subject to, so U1 plus V1, U1 plus V1, you can see here, U1 plus V1. So first and second, you can see this. So U1 plus V1, so that is less than or equal to 4. Then we have U2 plus V2 less than or equal to 1. Then we have U2 plus V1 less than or equal to 2 plus, then the last one, U2 plus V2 less than or equal to 3. And U1, U2, V1, V2 are free. Okay. So now this is the dual. We are finding the dual in this manner. Now we have to use this one. Now, what is the primal dual conditions? U1 plus V1 minus C11 into X11 equal to 0. What is the second one? U1 plus V2 minus C12 into X12 equal to 0. Then the third one, U2 plus V1 minus C21 into X21 equal to 0. Then U2 plus V2 minus C22 into X22 equal to 0. So either we define it here in this manner, U1 plus V1 equal to C11 or X11 equal to 0, etc. Right? So the product equal to 0. If product equal to 0, either U1 plus V1 from the first set, U1 plus V1 equal to C1 or X11 equal to 0. Okay, this. Now, we are going to solve the problem by some method. The first method is known as northwest corner rule. I will explain what is that. So, you see, if you see the problem, what we have taken here, the problem. So the transportation matrix we have to consider. So X11, X12, these two sum equal to 100. Then X11, X21, these two sum equal to 150. Then second row, X21 plus X22, this equal to X21 plus X22 equal to 100. And similarly, X12 plus X22 equal to 150. Now, X11 plus X12 equal to 100. So, northwest corner rule say we have to select so the top one is north, the bottom one is south, north and northwest. So, northwest corner rule. So, this right hand side, whatever you see, this is the east and this is the west. Top one is north, bottom is south, right is east and left is west. So northwest corner means this corner, the first cell, okay, where X11 is there. We have to try to set this value, how much is possible. See, this is with respect to the first row 200 and with respect to first column this 150. So 150 and 200, how much you can allot to this cell? We can allot minimum of 200 and 150. What is the minimum? Minimum equal to 150. So we are allotting this. We are allotting to X11 equal to 150. Once you allot 150, so first column is fulfilled. So since first column is fulfilled, we can cross out the first column and set X11 equal to 150. And out of 200, 150 already allotted. So what is the remaining amount? The remaining amount is 50. Okay. So first column has gone. x11 equal to 150. Okay, so since we have set already the x11, so x21 is not there. So what about the x21? The x21 has to be presently 0. x11 equal to 150, x21 equal to 0. Now, so what is left out? What is left out? So left out means the second column only. Second column and second column. This in second column first already the x11 cell already filled. Now, so according to this, what is the northwest corner? Northwest corner is now x12. So we have to allot. So minimum of already 150 you have allotted, 50 left out of 100, 200, 50 left out, the 50, and this is 150. So we allot to x12 50, and whatever left out, so we reduce. So from 150, 50 has gone, so 100 remain. So that is allotted to x22. So finally we set in this manner: x11 equal to 150, x21 equal to 0, x12 equal to 50, x22 equal to 100. Is it clear? Means we have got a rule to fulfill this constraint, because it is given x11 plus x12 has to be 200. So 150 plus 50 equal to 200. Second one, so x21 plus x22 equal to 100, x21 equal to 0, x22 equal to 100. So that is fulfilled. Now, so if you see the first column, x11 equal to 150, x21 equal to 0. So their sum equal to 150, fulfilled. And this is 50 and this is 100, that is 150 is fulfilled. So we have set. We got a trial solution. What is the solution? x11 equal to 150, x12 equal to 50, x21 equal to 0, x22 equal to 100. Is it clear? So there may be some other. So we are not sure. Now we will see that this solution, whether it is optimal or not. This solution is optimal or not, we have to check. So if it is optimal, what will happen? So the complementary pairs will be fulfilled. Maximum value of the objective function is same as the minimum value of the primal objective function is same as the maximum value of the dual objective function. It has to be same if it is optimal. Otherwise, it cannot be same. It will be different. Okay. So with respect to this problem, we have got solution. What is the solution? Phase 1 solution, you can see 150. That is x11 equal to 150. Then we have x12 equal to 50. This x21, nothing is there, it is 0. x22 equal to 100, so it is fulfilled. Okay. So out of 4 variables, 3 are non-zero and 1 is 0. Which is 0? x21 is 0 and rest all are positive. x11 equal to 150, x12 equal to 50, x21 equal to 0, x22 equal to 100. Now this solution, whatever you have got, this is known as the northwest corner rule. We have to see that whether the solution is optimal or not. This northwest corner rule solution is known as phase 1 solution. We'll check whether the solution is optimal or not. Okay, this. Now, with respect to this, say we have, so if you calculate what is the value of z, we want to minimize. You can see here 150 into 4, 150 into 4, and 600, 50 into 1, 650, then 0 into 2, that is 0, then 100 into 3, 300, 600 plus 300, 900 plus 50. So this value is coming as altogether 950. So we like to minimize the transportation cost. So present value is 950. Whether it is minimum or not, we are not sure. We are going to check. So how do we check? How do we check? We'll check in this manner. We'll check in this manner. So since we have said x11 equal to 150. This 150 is a positive quantity, non-zero. So with respect to the first cell, we have here, so u1 plus v1 equal to 4. u1 plus v1 equal to 4. Because I have told u1 or ui plus vj minus cij into xij equal to 0. So u1 plus v1 equal to 4 because x11 is non-zero. Is it all right? Hello? Out of, are you able to hear? Anybody there or left? Are you able to hear? Nikhil Jadhav, Gyanaranjan Pradhan, are you able to hear?
Yes, so we are able to hear.
You are able to hear, but you are not replying anything. So how I have got u1 plus v1 equal to 4? Tell me. How I have got u1 plus v1 equal to 4? Now tell me. See, I have taken a very small problem so that everybody will realize how this happened. u1 plus v1 equal to 4. Is it all right? u1 plus v1 equal to 4. Because u1 plus v1 minus 4 into x11 equal to 0. Since x11 is positive, that is 150, so u1 plus v1 equal to 4. Because this, since one of them is positive, so this has to be 0. So u1 plus v1 equal to 4. Similarly, for the second cell, so u1 plus v2, you can see here. So this is the u1 plus v2, this is equal to 1. u1 plus v2 equal to 1. Okay, this we have got u1 plus v2 equal to 1. For third one we are not taking because it is already 0. Which is 0? This x21 equal to 0. Since x21 equal to 0, so with respect to the constants, whatever is there, it will fulfill. So now we will consider the fourth cell. The fourth cell say u2 plus v2 equal to 3. So u2 plus v2 equal to 3. Okay. Now we have got 3 equations. How many variables? 3 equations. How many variables?
2 variables.
4 variables or 2 variables?
4. 2 into 2.
4 variables. 4 variables, 3 equations. So how do you solve? Now what do we do? Arbitrarily set one of the variables 0. Arbitrarily you set one of the variables 0. Okay. We are setting arbitrarily one of the variables 0. So let me set, instead of 0 you can take any number, positive, negative, whatever. So they are free variables. So u1, u2, v1, v2 all are free variables. So we set one of the variables 0. Let me say u1 equal to 0. If you set u1 equal to 0, what is v1? v1 equal to 4. So u1 equal to 0, v1 equal to 4, u1 equal to 0, v2 equal to 1. Okay. So v2 equal to 1. So since v2 equal to 1, what about u2? What about u2? u2 equal to 2. So we have got 4 out of, you see, this has infinite number of solution, but we set in this manner, u1 equal to 0, v1 equal to 4, v2 equal to 1. Okay. So u1, v1. So u1 0, v1 4. So we have already I told. So v2 equal to 1, then v2 equal to 1 means u2 equal to 2. So 4 solution you have got. So what is the objective function? What is the objective function? So we have objective function something like this. I have told already our objective function is, when you say the dual, so 200 into U1, how much? U1 equal to 0, gone. Then 100 into U2, how much? What is U2? Just now you calculate, no? What is U2? See, this we have calculated. Please remember, okay? Please remember, and we'll just come to this point so that you can check what is happening. So this is the three equations, 4 variables. We are setting one of them 0, U1 equal to 0, V1 equal to 4, V2 equal to 1. So, okay, V1 4, V2 equal to 1, and so V2 equal to 1 means U2 equal to 2. U1 0, U1 0, U2 equal to 2, V1 4, V2 equal to 1. So 0, U1 equal to 0, U2 equal to 2, V1 equal to 4, and V2 equal to 1. Okay, please remember this. So now I'm substituting. So if I'm substituting, say what we are finding. How to check? So 200 into 1, 200 into 0. Okay, U1 equal to 0, gone. This term is no value. So 100 into U2. What is U2? I told 2. So 100 into is 200. Then 150 into V1. What is V1? 1. 200 plus 150. 350. And what about V2? Yes. What is V2? Hello? U1.
Sir, V1 is 4 and V2 is 1.
V1 equal to 4. Achha, okay. Okay, you calculate all together how much value this objective function is coming. Just tell me. You got all the variables, now you substitute. If they are becoming equal, then this is the optimal solution. If they are not becoming equal, this cannot be optimal solution. We have to improve. Okay, that is things we are testing. So this first term has gone. So you see here, first term. V1 equal to, so V1 equal to 4. V1 equal to 4. Then, so V1 equal to 4, V2 equal to 1, 4 and 1, and 0 and 2. 4, 1, 0, 2. Okay. So 4, 1, 0, 2. Actually, you have to write down because need not remember. So 4, 1, 0, 2. So this is 200. Say 150 into 4, 600. 600 plus 200, 800. And this is how much? V2 equal to 1. So what is happening this? 800 plus 150. 950. And what is the primal one? We have got primal one. How much we got? 950 also. Both are same. So it is a optimal solution. Okay, that is the conclusion. So this solution, whatever you have got, this is a optimal solution. This is a simple example. Okay, so this solution we have got is an optimal solution from this dual this. Okay, 950, and earlier that is also 950. Okay, so now we are checking for optimality. Okay, so why? How much it was? 950. What this primal one? Yes. How much I told in the beginning? The value if you substitute
this 950.
950. This is 950. See, even it is 950, so it must fulfill all the constraints. It should fulfill. Now, what is the fulfillment? Fulfillment is like this. So both are equal. The objective functions and both primal and duals are equal. Now, whether it is optimal solution or not, because the optimality, not necessarily this objective function same means optimal. So we have to again check whether it's fulfilled the constraints or not. Okay. So now I'm checking out the constraints. So we'll check the constraints in this manner. So we are checking the constraints. Check for optimality. Now we have the first cell. Okay, first cell is, so first cell is 1 1. Second cell is 1 2. Third cell is so 2 1. Fourth cell is say 2 2. So we have to check only the not occupied cell, unoccupied cell. Okay, unoccupied cell is the third cell. This is the cell, nothing is given here. Okay, this. So according to the duality theory, I have mentioned U2 plus V1, U2 plus V1 less than equal to U2 plus V1 less than equal to 3. U2 plus V1. What is the U2 you got? What is U2? U1 equal to 0, U2 equal to 2, V1 equal to how much? V1 equal to
4.
4. Say 2 plus 4. How much it is? 6. 6 is not less than 3. It is greater than 3. Okay. So this condition is not fulfilled. So even they are equal, we are unable to say that it is optimal. You see, this region is like this. Say U2 plus V1. U2 equal to 4, V1 equal to 1, that is 1, 5. 5 is greater than 4. So this is not fulfilled. So this present solution is not optimal. Even the objective functions are equal, but this is not optimal because it has to fulfill the all the constraints. Okay. So this is not an optimal solution. Okay. Now say what to do? We have to find a rule, find a root. So and we have to improve. So how to improve? I will tell you. The present solution is not optimal. We'll apply Modi's method. What is Modi's method? The Modi's method is known as modified distribution method. So modified distribution method is like this. You can see here how to modify. This is 150. We have occupied. This is 50. This is 100. Okay. Now, so with respect to this 3 occupied, so this is actually not occupied. Occupied, non-occupied. Okay. So we'll start say numbering in this manner. Say something like positive, negative, positive, negative. So since it is not fulfilled, because this is this difference, most negative, if you say that, so 4 plus 1 equal to 5, 5 minus 3 is say greater than 5 plus 1, that is 6 is greater than 3. So that is the most positive element because it is a minimization type problem. So for minimization type, we say most positive. For maximization type, most negative. So this cell, with respect to this cell, the variable is a entering variables. So if this is the entering variables, one of the variable will depart. Okay. So the plus means it is a entering variable. Okay. So now if you say it is plus, then it is minus, then it is plus, this is minus. We have to make a loop and loop so that, and you will draw horizontal and vertical lines. So in each the end point must go through this occupied shell. So this is occupied, this is occupied, this is occupied, this is unoccupied. If it is entering, so we make a loop in this manner. Now after making the loop, you check one element is 150, another is 50, another is 100. So choose the smallest of these elements. Okay. So what is the smallest? 150 among all the negative elements, dot positive. So this is negative, positive, negative, positive, negative. Among all the negative elements, choose the smallest element. Smallest element is 100. That element, since it is 100, what we should do? That 100 we must subtract from the negative elements, and that 100 we must add to the positive elements. So if you subtract, this will be 0. 100 minus 100, this will be 0. And if you add, this will be 150. And what about this? 150, if you subtract, this will be 50. And this was initially 0. Now you are adding. So to the plus elements you add, to negative element you subtract. So this is becoming 50. This is becoming 150. You are adding. This is becoming 0. And this is becoming 100. Now, so what is the cost if you calculate? So you can see here 50 into 4, 200. 50 into 4, 200. Then 150 into 1. 150 into 1. So 150 plus 200, say 350. 350, and we have here 300. So this is gone 0, 300. 100 into 3, 300. So 350 plus 300. So this is coming 650. Okay. So same thing you are doing here. Now this is becoming 50. This is becoming 150. This is 100. And this is becoming 0. Now the new schedule is like this: 50, 150, 0, 100. So as a result, so what is happening to this? So what is the value? Value is coming 650, the auxiliary function value. Now what is the cell here? The cell is this, which is not occupied, rest are occupied. So now again you check the optimality. For checking optimality, we will calculate further. U1 plus V1 equal to 4 with respect to this. U1 plus V1 equal to 4. Then U1 plus V2 equal to 1. Then U2 plus V1 equal to 3. U2 plus V2 equal to, that is not, we are not taking. So these are the three equations. Calculate. If you calculate, it is coming U1 equal to 0, V1 equal to 4, U2 equal to -1, V2 equal to 1. This you calculate. Now the last one, which is not occupied, if you are checking this, that is U2 plus V2. Actually, this is not 100. By mistake, I have written 100. It was something else. 2. It is 2. This is, see, 4, 1, 3, 2. 4, 1, 4, 1, 3, 2. It should be 2, not 100. By mistake, I have written it 100. Okay, 2. So if you calculate, so U2 plus V2, U2 plus V2, their sum equal to 0. 0 is less than 2, so that is fulfilled. Okay, 0 is less than 2 is fulfilled. So the present solution is optimal. And what is the value? X1 equal to 50, X1 equal to 150, X21 equal to 100, and the value of the auxiliary function is becoming 150. Okay, this. And what about that? The dual auxiliary function, that is also becoming 650. So this present solution is optimal. Okay, this. Now, again, I am repeating those who could not understand. So it is this smaller problem will help. Otherwise, you have lot of query, lot of questions to how we are checking for optimality, how we are improving. Then, if this is cleared, then I will go for a bigger problem. Okay, right? Come to the beginning. Anybody could not understand this small problem? See, for this small problem, you can arbitrarily try your method and solve. But if you are applying the transportation rule, transportation procedure, you have to follow the simplex rule or this transportation rule, what we are saying here. So the present solution is optimal, we stop. If not optimal, we like to improve. Okay, so improve using UV method. That was the problem, the transportation problem. This. Okay, so once this is given, see this U1, U2, V1, V2, we are writing in this fashion because we are introducing the dual variables. Okay, before introducing the dual variables, we are going to have a trial solution. How to find the trial solution? The trial solution, if you are using, there are several methods. First method is northwest corner rule. So to this first cell, this is the northwest corner cell, we have to allocate as much as possible. So how much it is possible? 200 and 150. Minimum is 150. So 150 is we can allocate. So if you allocate 150 in this first column, nothing is left out. So this we are allocating to X11 150, and in the same column we drop. So you cannot allocate anything. So X21 equal to 0, X11 equal to 150. Now in the first row, since you have already allocated 150 out of 200, so 150 is gone, 50 units left out. Okay, so the first column we have dropped. Now we are coming, so as if we have a transportation matrix, only one column is there, two rows are there. So with respect to that, we are allocating something to X12. How much you can allocate? So you can allocate only 50 units. If you can allocate 50 units, so this is gone, this first row is gone. So 50 was there, 50 you have allocated, nothing is left out. And out of 150, 50 you have allocated, 100 units left out. So to X22, we allocate 100 units. So 100, 50, 50, 100, and this first cell number 21, so that is 0. Okay. So once we have allocated, we'll check whether this present solution is optimal or not. If it is optimal, so the primal objective function, dual objective function will be same, number one. Number two, all the constraints will be fulfilled. Primal constraint, dual constraints will be fulfilled. But here we find the primal objective function, dual objective function value becomes same, but the dual constraints are not fulfilled. So this, even if it is same, so the present solution is not optimal. Okay, right? So to find the optimal solution, we have to apply the Modi's method, that is modified distribution method. What is the method? That is called modified distribution method. So this method is like this. So modified distribution method. So the modified distribution method says we have to form a closed loop. So this is not fulfilled. Okay, this is the only cell which is not fulfilled. So this is the entering variables. We'll try to make this is the entering variable X11, X12, X21, X22. So X21 is the entering variables, which was 0, now it is positive. Okay, now you make a closed loop, and since it is positive, we'll relabel like this, something like, so out of 4, 2 will be positive, 2 will be negative. Say positive, negative, positive, negative alternately. Alternatively, positive, negative, positive, negative. After that, what should we do? Among the two negative, 150 and 100. So find the minimum value, minimum equal to 100. So that amount you subtract from all the negative elements, and that element you add to all the positive elements as a result. So this 100 is becoming 0, you subtracting, and that plus 50 is becoming 150, and minus 150 is becoming, because it's negative, so you are subtracting, this is 50, and that plus becoming 100. So After that, we are finding it is fulfilled. So it is fulfilled. The solution is fulfilled means when you are checking, we find this condition is fulfilled. UIE plus BJ, this is less than or equal to CIJ. So it is fulfilled. So once it is fulfilled, we conclude that the present solution is optimal. Okay. So this is the way we have got the solution. I am coming to a little theory so that for a general problem. Are you able to hear? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this first problem what we have solved, that is a very typical problem. Only I have explained so that you will be realize that yes, we are able to improve. Okay. Now we are saying mathematical model of a balanced transportation problem. So always we solve balanced transportation problem. If it is unbalanced, we have to make it balanced. Okay. So how to make balance, I will explain. So using some example, but now I am considering some balanced transportation problem. Transportation problems are always minimization type. Okay. If somebody has asked you a maximization type transportation problem, then you have to change into minimization type. Otherwise, you cannot solve it. Okay. So generally it is minimization type. Why? Why cannot be maximization type? You see, when you are traveling with the taxi, so see something like routing problem. So you like to minimize your traveling cost, and the taxi wala want to maximize his profit. If he moves more, then he will charge more. Okay. So proportionally, he will have more profit. So what he will do? He will find a different route which is not giving minimum transportation cost. It is giving maximum transportation cost. Okay. So, but we in general, if it is a really a optimization problem, we have to have minimization of transportation cost, not maximization. So minimization of transportation cost is ideal. Otherwise, the problem will look some absurd problem. But if it is a mathematical problem, so it can be minimization type, it can be maximization type. If it is maximization type, multiply minus sign and proceed. If it is maximization type, multiply minus sign and proceed. Okay, that's all. No other. It is generally minimization type. Okay, so minimization of this auxiliary function. This is a 2-index problem. Why 2-index? Generally, decimal variables are something like x1, x2, x3, x4, etc. But here it is x11, x12, x13, x14, etc. Okay, so this 2-index problem you can change to 1 index also. But in transportation we use 2-index problem. Okay, why? There are m number of sources, n number of destination. Sources means there are factory, m number of factory, and n number of marketplace. So that is the reason we are saying a 2-index problem. Okay. So subject to what? Subject to the constants are like this. Summation number j varies from 1 to n. Aij, xij equal to ai. This ai and bj are whole number. Availability, amount of products available at source 1 equal to A1, source 2, A2, and so on. Say there are m number of sources. Similarly, the destination. Okay, so destination at that is the marketplace. That is destination D1. That is B1 unit, D2, B2 units, and so on. Say that is Bn. So we say it is balanced because sum of all the AI, something like A1, A2 up to Am equal to B1, B2 up to Bn. So other way, but this type of problem is feasible if availabilities are more than the demand. For example, you need some sugar. Whatever is available, if it is more than the demand, then you can fulfill. And if your availability is less than the demand, so certainly you cannot fulfill. Okay, such problems are infeasible. But here, this problem you are solving, all are balanced, means number of availability and number of demands are equal. Okay, so we are making it balanced and solving. Okay, so this And generally, if ai and bj are integers, non-negative integer, the decision variable has to be also non-negative integer. There is a rule. So, okay. So for a balanced transportation problem, this is the condition. So what is the condition? Summation over I varies from 1 to m, ai equal to summation over j varies from 1 to n, bj. Generally, transportation problems are minimization type. All the constants are equal type. It has m plus n number of constants and m into n number of variables. This is a problem. Okay. Now, what about the dual? How to find the dual? So, dual, I am writing a general form, but how I have written, so I will explain. A dual of a transportation problem, dual of a given transportation problem, we can write. Earlier it was minimization type, now it is maximization type. Maximization of z dash equal to summation over I varies from 1 to m. So that is u1 into a1, u2 into a2, and so on. Say finally um into am. This u1, u2 up to um are some dual variables. Similarly, we have so b1 into b1, b2 into b2, bn into bn. These are the dual variable also here, b1, b2. Altogether, m plus n number of dual variables, because there are m plus n number of constants and we have n plus n number of dual variables. Since the constants are equal type, the dual variables are free. Okay. So here, how to present the dual constants? ui plus bj less than equal to cij. How many constants are here? ui plus bj less than equal to cij. How many are there? I varies from 1 to m, j varies from 1 to n. How many are there? It's very simple. How many are there? How many constants are there?
m into n.
M into n. Because there are m into n number of cells, so we have m into n number of constants. With respect to cell, each cell there is a primal variable, something like x11, x12, x13 up to xmn. So we have m into n number of dual constants. The dual constants are all less than equal type. Okay. So always this constant, when you say less than equal to Cij, either they are equal or less. If it is greater, if you are finding somewhere ui plus bj greater than Cij, this condition is not satisfied. Okay. So if it is satisfied, then it has to be either equal or less. If it is greater, it is not satisfied. That you conclude. Okay. Earlier example, it was not less, it was more. That is the reason we say it is not feasible. The constant is not feasible. Okay. So where ui and vj are the free variables, it is m plus n number of variables and m into n number of constants. All the variables are free. Now, if you are analyzing the primal problem, dual problems. Primal problem is minimization type. Dual problem is maximization type. Primal variables are x11, x12 up to xmn. Primal variables. They are all non-negative. So dual variables are so u1, u2, um, v1, v2, vn. So there are how many dual variables? Altogether m plus n dual variables. There are m plus n primal constants. These constants are equal type, so the dual variables are free variables. That's all. Okay. So now I am considering a small problem. Okay. What is this? Let me say m equal to 3 and n equal to 3. Okay. So you can change to maybe m equal to 3, n equal to 4 also. There is no harm. Okay. So 2 by 2 we have taken already. 2 by 2 is a special problem. Why special? Because you know there is 4 variables, 4 constants. Here, so if you multiply 3 into 3, 9. So 3 plus 3, 6. So it is not fulfilled. Okay. So it is not becoming same. It is becoming different. So but there 2 into 2 equal to 4, 2 plus 2 equal to 4. Okay. That is special. So now with respect to this problem, mathematically you can write z equal to minimize z equal to I varies from 1 to 3. j varies from 1 to 3, Cij into Xij, subject to j varies from 1 to 3, Xij equal to ai, I equal to 1 to 3. Similarly, I varies from 1 to 3, Xij, that is Bj, j varies from 1 to 3. Okay, this. Right? So, with respect to this present problem, and we have the primal variables, all these primal variables are non-negative. I varies from 1 to 3, j varies from 1 to 3, something like x11, x12, x13, they are non-negative, x21, 22, 23, they are non-negative, x31, 32, 33, they are also non-negative. There are 9 variables, 9 primal variables. And since it is a balance transportation problem, A1 plus A2 plus A3 equal to B1 plus B2 plus B3. Okay, this. Now, with respect to this, we are finding the dual. What is the dual? Dual will be maximize Z, that is A1 U1 plus A2 U2, A3 U3 plus B1 V1, B2 B2, B3 V3, subject to Ui plus Bj less than equal to Cij, I varies from 1 to 3, j varies from 1 to 3, and Ui and Vj are free variables. Okay, so we will do like this, some calculation. Objective function, in the objective function, how many terms are there? How many terms are there? There are 9 terms. Okay, 1 1 with respect to x11, x12, x13, 21, 22, 23, 31, 32, 33. So with respect to x11, the cost coefficient is C11, 12 cost coefficient is C12. With respect to x13, cost coefficient is C13. With respect to x21, cost coefficient is C21. With respect to x22, cost coefficient is C22, and so on. Say, okay. Now I am just renaming the primal variables. X11, I am putting new name equal to x1, x12 equal to x2, x13 equal to x3, x21 equal to x4, x22 equal to x5, x23 equal to x6, x31 equal to x7, x32 equal to x8, x33 equal to x9. Okay, these new names are like this. New name I have given only for our purpose to verify. Okay, this. Now, if you see the constraints, what is the first constraints? The first constraint is something like this: x11 plus x12 plus x13 equal to a1. So we can write first constant is like this: x1 plus x2 plus x3 equal to a1. New name. So second constant, x21, x22 plus x23 equal to a2. So I can write x4 plus x5 plus x6 equal to a2. Now third constant, that is x31 plus x32 plus x33 equal to a3. So I am writing here. So x7 plus x8 plus x9 equal to a3. See here. So first 3 variables, their coefficients are 1, 1, 1. Rest all are 0. Then for the second constants, so x4, x5, x6, their coefficients are 1, 1, 1. Rest are 0. For third constants, the coefficients are the last 3. x1, that is x7, x8, x9, 1, 1, 1. Rest are 0. Rest. Then we have x11 plus x21 plus x31 equal to b1. So in this manner we are writing x11, this is x11, then this is x21, x21 equal to x4, x11 equal to x1, x21 equal to x4, then we have x31 equal to x7. Their sum equal to b1. Next, then we have x12, x22, x32. Something like we have here. So x12 equal to x2, x, we have x22 equal to x5, then x32 equal to x8, their sum equal to b2. Then the last one, that is x13 equal to x3, then x23 equal to x6, then x33 equal to x9, their sum equal to b3. Okay, this. So this, it is a matrix. In the matrix form I'm writing. So with respect to the matrix form, so if you see first three constants, this first three constants say something about the source constants u1, u2, u3. Last three constants are known as the demand constants. Source constant, demand constants. With respect to source constants, we have three dual variables u1, u2, u3. With respect to three demand constants, we have b1, b2, b3. Okay, this. Now, if you want to write in this form, we have here u1. You can see here u1, and this is their second one. u1 plus b1 equal to c11. Then we have u1 plus b2 equal to c12. Then we have u1 plus b3 equal to c13. Okay. Then u2 plus b1 equal to, that is less than equal to c21. u2 plus b2 less than equal to c22. u2 plus b3 less than equal to c23. And last three, u3 plus b1 less than equal to c31. u3 plus b2 less than equal to c32. And u3 plus b3 less than equal to c33. And all the variables like dual variables u1, u2, u3, b1, b2, b3 are free variables. Okay, this is all right? Anybody could not understand? Please tell me. How do you obtain the dual problem? This dual problem is difficult and your solution depends on wholly on the dual problem. If you are unable to understand this, then you cannot realize how you have got solution, right? Is there any problem? Tell me. Okay. Now I'm just taking a problem, 3x3 problem. See here. So this 3x3 problem, how many variables are there? 9 variables. x11, x12, x13, x21, x22, x23, then x31, 32, 33. What is the source availability like A1, A2, A3? 7 plus 9 plus 14. 7 plus 9, 16 plus 14. How much? 30. Then the demands, that is B1, B2, B3, 10, 10, 10, 30. So it is a balanced transportation problem. Yes or no? Is it a balanced transportation problem? Hello?
Yes, sir.
It is a balanced transportation problem. Now we want to solve. Okay. So we want to solve. So first we like to, before solving, so we are formulating in the mathematical model. This is given in the matrix form. Okay. Generally problems are given in matrix form to you. So with respect to this, we have to form the linear programming format. Okay. This is minimization of z subject to the constants. How many constants will be there? Equality constant in this problem. How many will be there? How many? There are 9 variables. How many constants? There will be six constants. Okay. These 6 constants. So we can write in this form x11, x12, x13, x21, x22, 23, x31, 32, 33. Okay. Similarly, in the other order, x11, x21, x31 equal to 10, x12, x22, x32 equal to 10. This we are saying it is a balanced transportation problem. Out of 6, how many are linearly independent? It is a balanced. How many? Out of 6 constants, there are out of 6, you have to drop 1. M plus n minus 1. 3 plus 3 minus 1. 3 plus 3, 6 minus 1. So 5 constants are linearly independent. So you take any 5, other one you can find from that. Okay. Out of say 5, so you can find the next one. Okay. Like, so that is the reason the number of the basic feasible solution, number of so positive elements, non-zero elements, so maximum will be 5, not 6, 5. 3 plus 3 minus 1, 5. Okay. So if there are more 0, then the solution is certainly basic feasible solution, but solution will be degenerate. But we are looking for non-degenerate basic feasible solution, non-degenerate. Okay, this. So with respect to this problem, let us find the dual. Let us find the dual. So take a problem. So we'll find the dual. When you find dual, you use the matrix one. Okay, dual. So what is the dual? Dual say source constraints dual variables are U1, U2, U3. For the demand constraint, dual variables are V1, V2, V3. So we have U1 plus V1 less than equal to 1. U1 plus V2 less than equal to 9. U1 plus V3 less than equal to 2. Similarly, for second set, U2 plus V1 less than equal to 3. U2 plus V2 less than equal to 8. U2 plus V3 less than equal to 4. For third set, U3 plus V1 less than equal to 5. U3 plus V2 less than equal to 7. U3 plus V3 less than equal to 6. Same thing we have written here. Just see this. For first row, these are 3. U1 plus V1 less than equal to 1. U1 plus V2 less than equal to 9. U1 plus V3 less than equal to 2. For second, U2 plus V1 less than equal to 3. U2 plus V2 less than equal to 8. U2 plus V3 less than equal to 4. For third, U3 plus V1 less than equal to 5. U3 plus V2 less than equal to 7. U3 plus V3 less than equal to 6. Okay. And all are free. So in general, maximization of Z dash is less than equal to minimization of Z. The minimum value is always more than the maximum value. Okay, this. And for the optimal, both will be equal. Not only equal, but also all the primal and dual constants must be fulfilled. You have seen a problem. The minimum value of the primal auxiliary function and the maximum value of the dual auxiliary function, both are same 950, but that is not optimal solution because it is not fulfilling the constants. It is not satisfying the constants. Okay, this. So now, with respect to this, how we will proceed for solution? See, this was 7, 6, 14, and this was 10, 10, 10. So using the northwest corner rule, you will allocate as much as possible. How much you can allocate? 7 and 10. So minimum is 7. You allocate 7. So once you are allocating 7, you draw the you just remove the first row. This is x11 equal to 7. Rest 2 are 0. And in this first column, 7 after reducing 7, so 10 will become 3 only. Okay. So first row has gone. Now it is a transportation problem as if first row is not there. So try to allocate further. If you allocate further, what will happen? So this is there, it is 9 and here it is 3 because out of 10, so 3 has gone, 7 has gone. So 3. So minimum value is 3. So 3 we have allocated, then the first column is gone. Okay. So once you have allocated 3 out of 9, so 3 has gone, so 6 unit left out. So now this is a transportation problem, only 2 rows and 2 columns. So again, allocate 6 units to the cell. So and reduce. So once you are allocating, so this is gone. The second row has gone and the second column 10 is reduced. So reduce means once 6 units are gone, so 4 units left out. In the same manner, we have to allocate and you have to complete the process. So you can see here 7. So 7, 0, 0, it is 7. In second row, 3, 6, 0, that is 9. In third row, 0, 4, 10, it is 14. In first column, 7 plus 3 is 10. In second column, so 6 plus 4 equal to 10. In third column, it is 10. So we have completed the allocation. How many allocated cells are available here? How many allocated cells are available? You can see in first row 1, in second row 2, in third row 2. So 2 plus 2 plus 1, how many?
5.
5 cells we have allocated. So their values are written. So this indicates x11 equal to 7, x12 equal to 0, x13 equal to 0. Then in second row, x21 equal to 3, x22 equal to 6, x23 equal to 0. In third row, x31 equal to 0, x32 equal to 4, x33 equal to 10. Okay, this. Now, we have to, once you have allocated, we'll see whether the present solution is optimal or not. What is the value of the auxiliary function? We'll calculate in this manner. 7 into 1, 7. 3 into 3, 9. 9 plus 7. 9 plus 7, 16. 16, 6 into 8, 48. 16 into 48, how much? 16 into 48, how much? 64. 16 into 48. Okay, 64. 64. Then we have, say, 28. 64 plus 28, how much? 64 plus 28.
92.
92 plus 60. 92 plus 60.
152.
152. Okay. So the value of the auxiliary function is becoming 152. So you have to see that the dual auxiliary function value may be 162 or less or more. It has to be, since it is minimization, it will more, that will be less. Okay. But even if it is there equal, we have to see that all the constants are fulfilled. Okay. Now, same thing here, we are writing this is the solution. So this present solution, what we have taken, it is not optimal, it is a feasible solution. Okay, this. And with respect to the feasible solution, value of Z equal to 150 units. Okay. So check for optimality. Now, how to check for optimality? So we'll check optimality in this manner. 7, with respect to the 7, U1 plus V1 equal to 1. With respect to this 7, U1 plus V1 equal to 1. Same thing you are writing. U1 plus V1 equal to 1. What is 1? 1 is the cost coefficient. Okay. Now this one, that is U2 plus V1 equal to 3. So U2 plus V1 equal to 3. Then we have this one, U2 plus V2 equal to 8. U2 plus V2 equal to 8. Then we have, so U3 plus V2 equal to 7. This is 7. Then we have U2 plus V2 equal to 6. All are there. So U2 plus, so this, how many equations are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equations. How many unknowns are there? How many unknowns? The dual variables are unknowns. How many are there? 6. 5 equations, 6 variables. So we have to find a solution. Set one of them orbitally to 0. We are setting U1 equal to 0. If you set U1 equal to 0, V1 equal to 1. So V1 equal to 1 means U2 equal to 3. V1 equal to 1. How much? U2 plus V1. U1 equal to 0, V1 equal to 1. Okay, this U2 plus V1 equal to 3. So U2 will be 2, isn't it? V1 equal to 1 means U2 will 2. Okay, so like that you calculate. Okay, there may be mistake also. Okay, calculate. So after calculating, we'll check. Okay, after calculating, we check all this. Okay, so you are calculating setup the dual variables. These dual variables are nothing but the Lagrange multipliers. These multipliers you are calculating, and they are free variables. So once you have calculated the multipliers, so we have to check whether it is fulfilled or not. If there is a mistake, then they will find the same mistake there. Okay. So I think it is a mistake here. U2 plus V1 equal to 3. So since V1 equal to 1, U2 has to be 2, not 3. This will be 2. Okay, I'm sure. Then, so since U2 equal to 2, then V2 equal to 6. It is not 5, it is 6. So, right, then once you have got V2 equal to 6, then U3 equal to 1. Okay, so this, whatever the value I have calculated, this is all wrong, because it depends on, because one of them is mistake, means there is mistake. So you got this value. So after that we will check. Okay, check for optimality. Okay, so check for optimality. So if it is fulfilled, then optimal. If not fulfilled, so we have to formulate, and you have to find a shell, and you have to make a loop. So many things are there. Okay, right? This problem I have done some mistake here. Okay, I have to recalculate. But ultimately optimal solution how you got? This say that we got 152, but the optimal solution is coming as 134, not 54. Okay. This problem has also some alternate optimal solution. Okay. So I will stop here. Okay. So next week you said from 27th to 4th March, no? 3rd March. 2nd March. Hello?
3rd March.
3rd March. It is break. So 3rd March is what is the day? 27. That's a Wednesday. Up to Wednesday, there is no class. Okay. So 27th. Okay, just 1 minute. Because there is problem. This transportation things I will give you. Those many things are there, still we will discuss. 27th is okay. 27th is Saturday. 27th, 28th. March is there. 1st, 2nd, 3rd. Okay. Up to 3rd, you said that it is break, isn't it? 27th to 3rd.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So means 1 week completely we are losing. Okay, no problem. So 3rd. So then 9th I have fixed the test. Okay. So Monday 8th March we will have again the transportation problem we will discuss. Of course, test is not there on the transportation problem. You need not worry. I have told the test is on revised simplex method, dual simplex method, and integer programming, isn't it? These are the same topic remain, so there is no changes. So same question also. Already question I have prepared and sent to the section. So 9th March, your test is at 5 o'clock. 4 to 5 I will take class. Then 5:30 there is test. Okay. So 5 o'clock test is there. Okay. Please inform everybody. So and the next test. Okay. Next test maybe end of March or 1st week of April sometimes. Okay. The topic will be transportation problem, assignment problem, and game theory. Okay. So something like that. So game theory is very interesting, and whatever you have studied the linear programming, that will apply there. So transportation, assignment, and game theory. So that is the last test, and then I will take the Viva. So please, and from every chapter you will have question, and these are the very interesting topic, and many things you have to learn, and most of the depends on the duality theory. So please go through the duality theory carefully. Okay. Thank you. So I will stop here. Okay. And this the problem I will just correct it, and after correcting I will send the file. Okay. Some mistakes are there. Okay. This slide I have said today whatever we discussed. Okay. Right. To everybody.
Okay,
So I'll
sir.
stop. I'll just stop here. Okay, please go through. So maybe in the night I'll send the slides.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.